The storm hasn't ended. It only changed shape, twisting through the trees like a living thing with teeth. Rain slashes across my face as I stumble through the Blackwood, my hand locked in Kael's iron grip. Behind us, flames still devour the clearing where I shattered his chains. Lightning splits the sky, and in that flash of white, I see it. The silver collar still fused around his throat, glowing with a sickly light that makes my stomach twist. He turns to look at me, those impossible gold eyes burning through the darkness. "Lyra Darcan," he says. My feet stop moving. The sound of my name and his voice vibrates through my chest, ancient and intimate, like he's spoken it 1,000 times before, but I never told him. I never said a word. "How do you know my name?" I whisper. He pulls me closer as thunder crashes overhead. His voice is soft, almost gentle. "I have spoken it before, in dreams that lasted centuries." My heart hammers against my ribs. The rain turns colder. The horns split the night like knives. I freeze, my breath catching. The sound comes from everywhere at once, deep and metallic, echoing through the trees. Kael's hand tightens around mine until my bones ache. "The Silver Order," he growls. "They're faster than I thought." Through the rain I hear them. Not footsteps, but something else. A mechanical clicking, rhythmic and wrong. Then I see the first one emerge from the mist, a creature of nightmare and steel. It's a hound, but not like any dog I've ever seen. Half beast, half machine, its body covered in silver armor etched with glowing blue runes. Its eyes are empty sockets filled with cold light. Behind it, dozens more materialize from the darkness, moving in perfect formation. Kael turns to me, and for the first time, I see real fear in his face. If they smell my blood, they'll find us both. We have to move. Now. We run. Branches claw at my arms, tearing through my sleeves. Mud churns under my boots, threatening to pull me down with every step. The world becomes a blur of thunder and darkness, punctuated by those horrible horns getting closer, closer. Kael moves like water, impossibly fast despite his wounds, but I can see him fading. The silver poison still burns in his veins, leaving trails of black across his skin. He pulls me forward when I stumble, his strength unnatural but weakening with every passing moment. Something strange happens. The ground beneath my feet begins to pulse, a gentle rhythm that matches my heartbeat. The roots seem to shift, guiding my steps away from hidden holes and loose stones. The forest itself is helping me, responding to something inside me I don't understand. A hound's howl tears through the air, so close I can hear its mechanical breathing. Kael curses and yanks me sharply left. We crash into a hollow carved between massive roots. Ancient wolf skulls line the walls, their empty eyes watching us. Petrified bones form a ceiling overhead, twisted into shapes that might have been beautiful once. Kael collapses against a tree, his chest heaving. Blood seeps through his torn shirt, mixing with rain and something darker. The silver burns on his wrists smoke in the cold air. "Don't," he rasps when I move toward him. "Don't touch me." But I'm already tearing strips from my cloak, my hands shaking. I've studied enough forbidden texts to know what silver does to creatures like him. It doesn't just hurt. It devours from the inside out. When my makeshift bandage touches his skin, he hisses. Then something impossible happens. The wound begins to close. Not fast, not clean, but closing. And where my blood has soaked through the cloth, silver light flashes between us. The air crackles with energy that makes my teeth ache. A howl cuts through the rain, different from the others. This one is mournful, ancient, filled with a hunger that makes every hair on my body stand up. Kael goes completely still. Even his breathing stops. "What was that?" I whisper. His golden eyes find mine in the darkness. They've released the white hound. It hunts only for royal blood. The words hit me like cold water. Royal? He doesn't look away. Rain drips from his hair, plastering it to his face. The silver collar pulses with each beat of his heart. "You freed a king, Lyra, the last of the Shadow Throne." They chained me because I refused to bow to their counsel. My mind races, trying to process this. A king. I freed a king. But that howl, he continues, his voice dropping lower. It's not hunting me. His gaze drops to my hand, where the silver burn from his collar has left a mark. You may be more than you know. Sleep takes me without permission. One moment I'm watching Kael tend the small, smokeless fire he somehow managed to create. The next, I'm standing in a grand hall carved from black stone. Banners hang from the ceiling, each one bearing a silver crescent crown that glows with its own light. The hall is filled with wolves. Not the mechanical hounds of the order, but real wolves, massive and proud, their eyes reflecting intelligence that shouldn't be possible. They're all watching something at the center of the room. A throne. And on that throne sits a woman whose face makes my heart stop. She has my eyes, my cheekbones, my hair, but longer, flowing like black water down her shoulders. She wears a crown of silver thorns, and when she speaks, her voice echoes through my skull. The chains will break when the blood remembers. I wake gasping, my hand pressed against my chest. Kael is already awake, staring at me with an expression I can't read. I saw her too, he says quietly, in my sleep. Morning light filters through the hollow, weak and gray. I look down at my palm, where the silver burn should be healing. Instead, it's changed. The mark has formed into a perfect circle, with intricate patterns spiraling inward like a seal. It glows faintly, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. The sight of it makes my stomach drop. Let me see, Kael says, reaching for my hand. The moment his fingers brush my palm, the rune flares. Silver light explodes between us, and Kael jerks back with a cry of pain. His hand is red, burned, smoking slightly in the cold air. We stare at each other in shock. The sigil of the first Luna, he whispers, cradling his burned hand. The moon's chosen. I've only seen it in the oldest texts, the ones the council tried to destroy. His eyes meet mine, filled with something between awe and fear. The goddess marked you, Lyra. Or cursed me, I breathe. By dawn, we reach a river that cuts through the forest like a wound. The water runs black, reflecting nothing, and the air around it carries a metallic scent that makes my nose burn. Silver traces, Kael explains, his voice strained. The Order poured blessed silver into the source decades ago. It flows through the entire northern territory now. He looks at the water with obvious dread. Deadly to wolves. Then how do we cross? He doesn't answer. Instead, he steps into the shallows and winces as steam rises from his legs. Before I can protest, he scooped me into his arms, holding me against his chest like I weigh nothing. Don't touch the water, he grits out. Each step is agony for him. I can feel his muscles trembling, see the veins in his neck standing out like cords. The silver in the water eats at him with every second, but he doesn't stop. Doesn't slow down. We reach the other side and he collapses, dropping me gently before falling to his knees. Kael's body convulses on the riverbank. His breathing comes in ragged gasps, and when he looks up at me, his eyes have changed. They're still gold, but deeper now, layered with something ancient and wild. When he speaks, his voice is wrong. It echoes, layered with growls and whispers that make my skin crawl. The girl bears the moon's blood. The words don't sound like they're coming from him. They sound like they're coming through him. She is ours. I scramble backward, my heart pounding. Kael? A snarl rips from his throat. He is the cage. His lips pull back, revealing teeth that are too sharp, too long. I am what you freed. The beast. The thing inside him. It's speaking to me. Terror floods my veins, cold and electric, but beneath it, something else rises. The same defiance that made me break silver chains burns in my chest now. No, I say, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. The beast inside Kael laughs, a sound like grinding stones. It pushes his body forward, crawling toward me with predatory grace. Every instinct screams at me to run. I kneel instead. I freed both of you, I say, meeting those terrible golden eyes. And you'll answer to me, not the moon. The beast snarls, closer now. I can smell blood and smoke on its breath, but I don't move. I reach down and press my marked palm against the mud. Blood wells up from the rune, drops falling into the earth. Where they land, silver light spreads like roots, pushing outward in a web of glowing lines. The light reaches Kael's body and wraps around him like chains made of pure moonlight. The beast roars, fighting against the bonds. But the light tightens, and slowly, so slowly, It drags the creature back down inside him. Kael gasps, his eyes clearing. He's himself again, trembling and soaked in sweat. He stares at me with naked shock. "You commanded it," he whispers. "The beast that defied gods. You commanded it." Far away, in a tower of white stone that rises above the Blackwood like a spear, Inquisitor Male stands before a council of silver-masked priests. The chamber is cold, lit only by pale blue flames that cast no shadows. On the table between them lies a chain, broken and twisted. Dark blood stains the silver links, still smoking faintly. "The beast is free," Male says, his voice flat and emotionless behind his mask. After 300 years, the Shadow King walks again. The High Priest leans forward, robes rustling. And the woman? Male places a vial on the table. Inside, a single drop of blood glows silver. She bleeds light, her blood burned through consecrated chains like acid. Silence fills the chamber. Then the High Priest speaks, and his voice carries the weight of centuries. Then the prophecy begins. The Moonborn has awakened. What are your orders? Male asks, "Kill them both, before the bond completes." The forest changes as we walk. Where our feet touch the ground, flowers bloom. Not ordinary flowers, but moon blooms, night flowers that should never open in daylight. They unfurl in spirals of white and silver, filling the air with a scent like snow and starlight. Kael watches with growing unease. This isn't natural. I can feel it too. Something flows through me with every step, pouring out into the earth like water from a broken dam. My veins pulse with silver light beneath my skin. It doesn't hurt, but it should. I know it should. The Blackwood was once sacred, Kael says quietly. Before the order came, before the council rose, this forest was the heart of the old world. The first wolves were born here, beneath the moon's direct light. He looks at me, and I see fear mixed with wonder. It's been sleeping for 300 years, and now? I whisper. Now it wakes. He reaches out slowly, carefully, and touches one of the moonblooms. Because of you. That night, we make camp beside a dying fire. Kael feeds it carefully, keeping the flames low and nearly smokeless. The silver collar around his throat glows faintly in the darkness. "Don't touch me again," he says suddenly, not looking at me. The bond feeds on contact. Every time we touch, it grows stronger, roots deeper into both of us. I know he's right. I can feel it, that invisible cord between us, tightening with every passing hour. But as I lie down to sleep, my body betrays me. My hand brushes against his arm. The world explodes. We're standing under a blood moon. Kael wears armor of black steel, and I'm beside him in robes of silver. We're holding hands, and our fingers are stained red. Around us, wolves howl in celebration and grief. Then the scene shifts. A blade, silver and terrible, plunges down. A woman screams. She screams his name. She screams my name. We jerk apart, both gasping. The vision fades but doesn't disappear. It burns in my mind like a brand. I wake alone. Panic seizes me before I can stop it. The fire is dead, and morning light filters through the trees in shafts of gold. I scramble to my feet, searching for any sign of Kael. Then I see my reflection in a pool of still water, and my heart stops. My eyes glow faintly gold, not as bright as Kael's, but unmistakable. As I stare, I realize I can hear things I shouldn't. A rabbit's heartbeat 3 trees away. Rain forming in clouds miles overhead. The whisper of roots growing beneath the earth. You're changing, Kael's voice says behind me. I spin to find him emerging from the trees, wet from bathing in a stream. He looks at me with an expression I can't read. The bond is rewriting your blood, he continues. Making you more like me. More like what you were always meant to be. I don't understand, I whisper. Neither do I. But we're running out of time to figure it out. They ambush us near an ancient stone bridge. One moment we're walking, the next the air fills with the whistle of arrows. I barely have time to scream before Kael throws himself over me, his body becoming a shield. I feel the impact as arrows strike him, feel his grunt of pain. When we hit the ground, I see the shaft protruding from his shoulder, tipped with silver that smokes and hisses where it touches his flesh. Soldiers in white armor emerge from the trees, at least 20 of them. Each one bears the silver crescent of the Order on their chests. Their crossbows reload with mechanical precision. "Stay down," Kael gasps. But I can't. I can see the blood pouring from his shoulder, smell the silver burning through his body. Without thinking, I grab the arrow shaft and pull. It comes free in a spray of dark blood. My hand burns where I touch the silver, but instead of bleeding, the wound in his shoulder begins to close. Light pours from my palm, silver and bright, knitting his flesh back together. Kael makes a sound I've never heard before. Something between a scream and a roar that shakes the bridge beneath us. His body convulses, bones cracking and reforming. In seconds, he's neither man nor wolf, but something in between. His face elongates, fur erupts across his skin, and claws like black knives tear through his fingertips. The soldiers freeze, their training forgotten in the face of true terror. Kael launches himself at them. He moves too fast to follow, a blur of black fur and silver blood. Soldiers scream, armor crumples like paper. The air fills with the sounds of breaking bones and tearing metal. I watch in frozen horror as the beast inside him takes full control, tearing through the Order's soldiers like they're made of straw. This is what they chained him for. This is the monster they feared. Kael. I scream his name without thinking. He stops mid-strike, one clawed hand wrapped around a soldier's throat. For a split second, his golden eyes find mine. The bond flares inside me, hot and bright. Silver light explodes from my marked palm, spreading across the bridge in waves. The ancient stone catches fire, but not with normal flames. These burn silver white, cold and merciless. The soldiers try to retreat, but the flames spread too fast. They leap from the bridge into the black river below, choosing silver-poisoned water over the fire. Kael, still in his half-shifted form, grabs me in his massive arms. He doesn't speak, can't speak with a mouthful of fangs, but I understand. He turns and runs as the bridge collapses behind us, stone and flame tumbling into the river in a cascade of destruction. We reach solid ground as the last section falls. Behind us, the bridge is gone, nothing but smoke and ash marking where it stood. The soldiers who survived are trapped on the other side, shouting orders we can no longer hear. Kael sets me down gently, and I watch as his body trembles, fighting to regain human form. It takes minutes for him to shift back completely. When he does, he's on his knees in the ash, naked except for the silver collar that never leaves his throat. His body is covered in scars, old and new, each one telling a story of pain and survival. He looks up at me, and I see everything in his eyes. Awe, fear, desire, all mixed together in a storm of emotion he can't hide. "You heard it," he says, his voice raw. The voice inside me, the beast. It spoke your name. I kneel beside him, not caring about the ash staining my clothes. "It's bound to you," I say. "No." He reaches out, touching my face with trembling fingers. "We're bound to each other. You command it because it recognizes you, because somehow, impossibly, you were meant to free me, to claim me." The words hang between us, heavy with meaning I'm only beginning to understand. In the silence, I hear it again. That distant howl, getting closer. The white hound is still hunting. The howl that answers is different. Deeper, more powerful, filled with authority that makes even Kael stiffen. "My pack," he says, but his tone carries dread instead of relief. Or what's left of it. From the mist, they emerge. Wolves. Not the mechanical hounds of the Order, but real wolves. Each one is massive, easily twice the size of normal wolves, and their fur bears scars of silver burns. They move with predatory grace, forming a semicircle around us. The largest steps forward, a wolf with fur like smoke and eyes like blue ice. When it shifts, the transformation is fluid, practiced. The man who emerges is tall and lean, with silver scars tracing patterns across his chest. He kneels, but the gesture feels mocking. "You should have stayed dead, my king." Kael's jaw tightens. "Varen." "The council promised us peace if you never rose again." Varen's blue eyes flick to me. "And now, you bring a human marked with the old magic. Do you want to doom us all?" Kael rises slowly. Pulling on the pants, one of the pack members tosses him. Despite his casual movements, I can feel the tension radiating from him like heat. The council lied to you, Varen. Like they lie to everyone. His voice is cold, every inch the king despite his bare feet and borrowed clothes. They didn't chain me to protect the pack. They chained me because I refused to kneel. Varen laughs, but there's no humor in it. You refused to kneel, and we paid the price. Half the Black Moon pack slaughtered. The rest of us scattered, hunted, forced to hide like animals. We are animals, Kael growls, and that's all we should be. Varen's gaze shifts to me again, and I see calculation in his eyes. Not playing at human politics, not following kings who dream of old glories. The Order offered peace. You offer war. The other wolves shift restlessly, their loyalty clearly divided. I can feel the weight of their stares, assessing me, judging whether I'm worth dying for. Varen takes a step toward me, and Kael moves faster than thought. One moment he's standing apart, the next he's between us, his body a wall of muscle and coiled violence. She's mine to protect, he says, and his voice carries the weight of absolute command. Varen doesn't back down. That's what the goddess said before she chained you. This one is mine, she declared, and you spent 3 centuries bound in silver, suffering in darkness. His lip curls. The human carries the mark. She's dangerous. She freed me. She cursed you. Varen's voice rises. Can't you feel it? The bond is eating you alive. Every moment you're together, you become less yourself and more hers. That's not freedom, Kael. That's a different kind of chain. The words hit like physical blows. I see doubt flicker across the faces of the other pack members. Some nod in agreement. Others look uncertain, their eyes darting between their former king and their current leader. Kael doesn't waver. I chose her. The beast chose her. If you can't accept that, then you're no longer pack. The moon rises early, blood red and swollen. Every wolf feels it. They all go still, heads turning skyward, and I hear them whimpering. Not in pain, but in reverence and terror. A voice speaks, not through sound, but through the very air itself. It resonates in my bones, in the marrow of the earth, in the roots of every tree. Ancient, feminine, and absolutely merciless. The chains are broken, the debt is due, pain explodes through my body. I collapse as symbols I've never seen blaze across my skin in silver fire. They write themselves onto my arms, my legs, my chest, each one burning like a brand. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. Kael catches me before I hit the ground, and his mark flares in response. Where his skin touches mine, the pain intensifies, but something else happens too. The symbols on my body begin to connect, forming a vast pattern that spreads across both of us. Through my agony, I hear Varen whisper in shock. The bonding marks, they're completing. My consciousness tears free from my body. I stand in a temple carved from moonlight itself. The walls pulse with silver veins, and the floor is made of stars. Around me, ancient wolves kneel in perfect circles, their eyes glowing with the same light that fills this place. At the center, she appears. The moon goddess, cloaked in light so bright I shouldn't be able to look at her, but I can't look away. She has no face, only radiance, but I feel her gaze on me like the weight of eternity. You freed the king, she says, and her voice is the voice from my dreams, the voice that spoke through the storm. Now you must bear his curse. What curse? I try to ask, but my voice comes out as a whisper. She doesn't answer. Instead, she raises her hand, and molten silver pours from her palm. It flows toward me like a living river, and when it touches me, I scream. The silver floods my veins, replacing my blood with liquid light. I wake choking on silver. It pours from my mouth, my nose, my eyes, coating the ground in glowing pools. Kael holds me, his arms locked around my convulsing body, and I can see tears streaming down his face. The pack watches in stunned silence. When the last of the silver leaves my body, I gasp and open my eyes. The world has changed. Everything is sharper, clearer, more real. I can see the individual leaves on every tree, count the stars between the clouds, feel the heartbeat of the earth beneath me. My eyes, I somehow know, now glow with luminous silver light. The forest reacts to my presence. Wind howls through the trees, bending them toward me like they're bowing. The moonblooms that have been following our path suddenly bloom all at once, carpeting the ground in white and silver. Kael stares at me with an expression between awe and fear. His voice shakes when he speaks. "You're not human anymore." I look down at my hands. The mark has spread, covering my palms, my wrists, spiraling up my arms in intricate patterns that shift and move like living things. Dawn breaks slowly, painting the sky in shades of blood and gold. The pack has retreated, forming a wide circle around us. Even Varen keeps his distance now, his blue eyes filled with something I never thought I'd see in them: respect and fear. Kael kneels before me, not in submission but in vow. "The council wants you dead," he says, his voice steady despite everything. "They'll send armies. The moon goddess wants you bound, wants to control what you've become. My own pack doubts you." He looks up, his golden eyes meeting my silver ones. But I don't care. He takes my marked hand in his, and power crackles between us. The bond is complete now, sealed in blood and moonlight and something older than both. "I'll fight them all," he promises. "The council, the order, the goddess herself, if she tries to take you from me." His grip tightens. "The beast that spoke your name will tear heaven apart to protect it." The sun rises fully, and I realize what we've become. Not human, not wolf, but something new. Something the world hasn't seen in 300 years. The Moonborn and her Shadow King. Our war has just begun.